It seems like the pawn was able to reach to the other side of the chessboard and become a queen. Right now, Mouten is at the point to where this man will decide the fate of the left wing. Whatever he does here and now will determine who is the victor of this side and who will get reinforcements in the center and the right wing of Quinn and the left wing of Zhao. So whatever happens here, whatever Mouten tries to do and however Kisui reacts to it and fights back will determine what happens now. So let's discuss the overall plan of what has now happened. So Mouten, he, as we know, was bait. He was bait this entire time with 5,000 men versus 30,000 men. That, at the first glance, when you look at a board like that, any commander would look at that and be thinking like, bruh, there's just no way that Mouten is going to be able to stand against that. 5,000 men just cannot compete with 30,000. I mean, numbers don't always mean everything, but they do help out in certain plans and strategies. And so, when you look at the board like that, you're thinking like, there's just no way 5,000 obvious bait, could do much. But, in fact, because of the way the Commander Mouten was and how he reacted to Kisui and how he attacked him and all that used tactics where he would retreat and would attack him when the enemy started retreating back and forth, it caused it to where he was able to survive long enough for the main force, the main left wing, to get over there and just attack Kisui's side. And so, which in turn caused it to where Kisui, he no longer could look at the 5k men. He had to shift his attention over to the main force that was coming right at him. And so, he had to reassemble his men, position them back in the proper state to where they could face the main army. But then, that's where the mistake was. Kisui, because of what the wave attack was doing to him and what it was doing to his forces, he could not afford to not look at them. He had to make sure he paid attention to the army charging him in waves, because if he was to focus on the 5k, his entire side would just get demolished. There's just nothing he could have done. He would have just been completely obliterated, and he would have lost even more men than he already did in this chapter. So he was forced to turn once again to face the side where the wave attack is coming from, while Mouten, since he was the one that made this happen in the first place, now that he's no longer being focused on, he can do whatever he wants. It's kind of like this. It's like a piece you know that's very powerful in a game, okay? This piece on the board. And you shift over, you're like, okay, this piece needs to get dealt with. Like, I gotta get this off the chessboard. Like, this piece is causing too many problems. If this is not dealt with, I'm going to fucking lose. And so, someone shifts their attention over to it. While they're shifting over, they're blinded by the fact of what could be coming on the side. I mean, all of a sudden, they're sideswiped by like a rook or a bishop, and they're like, what the fuck? And then they look over at the rook and bishop trying to deal with that, and they don't even pay attention to what the pawn is now capable of that has now been upgraded to the queen, because it can do anything it wants. It can hide in the woods and, you know, take its time to strike when it thinks the opportunity is right. So right now, Mouten, he's in a very powerful position because he has 5k men. And we know from prior arcs, 5k men, that's a lot of men. It's a lot of men, yes. But 5k men, since it's around that size, you could still have stealth tactics. Mouten could still use some form of a stealth. He can make it to where he could do tactics to where nobody knows where his army's at, and then he could shift around, do something completely crazy, and take out headquarters of the enemy army. We have seen Shin and all of them do that before. So, this could be what Mouten is doing. He's making it to where, since he only has 5k, he's able to be like a silent arrow, just come in out of nowhere and just completely assassinate the head, which is Kisui, and just get him out of here. That is basically what he has become right now. He's like that one-shot checkmate that can come out of nowhere, and Kisui is very worried about this, because he's like, I can't focus on that over there. I can't focus on what Mouten is doing anymore, because I have to focus on the wave attack. That's the main army. But he's like, at the same time, I have this worry in the back of my head, like, holy shit, if I don't pay attention, I'm just gonna get sideswiped, maybe in the ass or on the side, and there's just nothing he can do about it. And when he's just sitting there looking at defeat, he's looking down and thinking in his mind, he's like, I was completely lured into a trap. Osen led me to do this. And he's like, I was completely outsmarted. The way all of these events unfolded and all that, there's just no way this was coincidence. I fell for the General Osen's trap. And when he said that, you're like, damn, the way Osun was able to think about all of these many different layers of strategy for what could ever happen. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But then, what's even more impressive is when it's revealed that Mouten, he himself, he saw what was going on this big board, this grand war right now. He saw what Osun saw. And because of that, it shows the level where Mouten is at as a commander. This man, for him to see that far ahead and know what he needs to do, just proves of how much potential he has. And now that General Osun has seen this himself, I could definitely see if Mouten does not die and he makes it through this entire arc, I could definitely see the man moving up into a general status, because that right there is just worthy of a general title because of what he just did in this first initiation of the big war. So, besides that, though, let's also talk about the fact that how Mouten is going to attack Kisui. So, looking at the panel here, I have the panel actually pulled up, and I was wanting to talk about it. So, the panel where it shows what Mako's army is doing, the wave attack army against Kisui's army's facing, the wave attack. And you have it to where Mouten's army is on the left, our left, but he's on Kisui's army's right. And so, since Mouten's army is in a forest or outside of the other side of the forest, he can do whatever he wants. He can loop around and all that and attack Kisui's army straight in the back and completely obliterate him. So, this makes it to where Mouten could go completely in stealth mode and attack Kisui's army. Now, if you look at the two things that could possibly happen here, Mouten has two options available to him. He can either attack from the right side, just completely attack the right side of Kisui's army and just obliterate him on the right, or he could circle on around, which would take a little bit longer, and maybe the 4th army would already be there at the time that Mouten gets behind him. But if Mouten gets behind Kisui's army and attacks him right in the back, he's going to completely surround headquarters, and it's going to make it to where it's like a pincer move. So Kisui wouldn't be able to do anything. He'd be completely trapped. So that right there is a possibility. But after looking at this, I feel like something that could be very unexpected and something that would really fuck over Kisui is, since we've already seen that Mouten, he's able to do incredible things with less troops. When he has half his forces split up, or he only has 500 men with him, or 1,000 men, we've seen that this man could do some incredible stuff. So I'm assuming, since he has an army of 5,000, he's going to split it up evenly into around 2,500, and he is going to attack from both sides. He's going to attack from the right side of Kisui's army, and probably attack him in the back around the exact same time, and that'll make it to where it's going to be a double pincer move, and it's just going to completely obliterate Kisui. Now, I could see Kisui getting in the state where he's completely surrounded, and his only option available to him would be to go to the left side to escape and get out of there, but I could see another option here. Maybe Mouten has someone set on the left side as well to initiate and get around if Kisui tries to escape and just completely take him down as well. So, I feel like the way this is going, the way Mouten's army is being positioned, most likely they're going to completely encircle Kisui's army to where he has no route to escape. It just completely surround his ass. And so, if they make the bulk of the forces on the front part, the right part, and behind, Kisui can move left, but there'll already be a small force, maybe a small force of 200 or 500 men sitting there waiting on him just to strike at him, and it'll just wipe him out. Because remember, when it comes to Kingdom, when you take out the commander, usually it's just GG for that army. So I could definitely see that being a big thing as well. So yeah, that's about it when it comes to this chapter. Chapter was incredible with some good details and just awesome strategy and tactics. Mouten clearly has shown that he is a worthy commander of the general title. This man has really impressed me with this arc. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.